listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me as always, guys. Coming to you from ESPN 97.5, 92.5, and doing it like it's supposed to be done. Making all them seconds spot out, making them pay my son, making them say, Daddy, I don't want that. Hey, man, how you feeling, man? You know what? How you feel, man? That's what that dude said on the Incredible Hulk, you know, when the homeboy took the little serum to get like the Incredible Hulk. And I remember when he got in the helicopter and he was sitting on one side and the brother said, how you feeling, man? And he goes, like a monster. And I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be good, man. How you doing, dog?
I'm doing good, Book. I mean, you're shot out of a cannon right now, and I'm feeling it. Now, I like how you did that 92.5. I enjoyed that. That was a little Tony Chimmel action. You know what I mean? When he hit that rated R superstar.
That's exactly what I was thinking about when I did it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, you know what? I know we got a lot to talk about. I actually want to find out where the hell you are right now, and I want to ask about it here in a moment. But who is your favorite person to announce you to the ring? Who is your favorite ring announcer? Who said Booker T the best over your years? Because you had some great ones. You had Pinzer, you had Chimmel, Finkel was there for a minute.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you right now, you don't get no better feeling than when Howard Finkel used to just say your name. That's something that back then all young wrestlers about to have done for them just one time in their careers, and so I would definitely have to get a Fink that spot. I always just like the way Howard Finkel would announce Bret Hart. He used to go, Bret the Hitman Hart. I used to love that. And one day I got a chance. I remember I was doing commentary, and I got a chance to introduce Bret Hart, and I did it like that. And Michael Cole goes, "What the hell is wrong with you?" Because I go, Bret the Hitman Hart.
No, Fink was the man. Finkel was the man. I would love it when somebody would win the title, and they're the new champion. Here's your winner and new. And World Wrestling Federation Intercontinental Champion. No, Fink was good, man.
He was the best. He was the best. Seriously. Yeah. But what we no. Before we get started, July 15th, guys. Let's not forget about that date. July 15th is going down. Reality of Wrestling, Summer of Champions 9, guys. I'm going to have some very, very special guests in the house. Alicia Fox, along with that boy, Trick Williams, will be co-MC in the house, as well as special guest referee from the WCW, as well as the WWE. That boy, Nick Patrick, will be in the house heading up that main event matchup. So, guys, come on out on July 15th and be a part of Reality of Wrestling. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out of the biggest party of the summer going down at the Humble Civic Center. 7 o'clock bell time, guys. That's July 15th. Don't miss out.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it. This is the 9th Summer Champions, but it's the first time we've been back at the Humble Civic Center in 7 years. So we had Summer Champions 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So 6, I guess, all at the World Gym Arena. So this is the first time we ventured back into the Humble Civic Center. And here's the thing. I went over there the other day with the director of Reality Wrestling, Kevin Bernhardt, to scope out the property, as it were. That building is awesome. I forgot how awesome the Humble Civic Center is. It is grade A quality. And I'm so excited to bring Summer Champions 9 to that, especially because it's been announced the steel cage match will main event for the Reality Wrestling Championship. It's going to be Matty Ice versus Edge Stone 3, their third encounter. And steel cage book means, you can't have a lot of involvement in that. Because you're kind of confrontational lately.
Look here. My boy Ice, it's all about, he knows. It's all about checks. It's all about championships, baby. It's all about going out there and rising to the occasion on the nights where the lights are the brightest. So yes, oh yes, it's gonna be good.
Now, look, I know we're here to talk about pro wrestling, so super chat's in. We're gonna get to it. I also have many a question about where you're currently inhabiting and what you're doing with that. Is that a duck that we're seeing?
See that?
I see the duck.
Shuggy, quack, quack. Oh yes, right now, man. I tell you what, man. Right now, go ahead.
Well, before we get there, what I wanted to ask you about is what is your reaction? Because we're known to talk a little basketball on the show, and this was kind of a big move. What is your reaction to Chris Paul now being the starting point guard conceivably for the Golden State Warriors, along with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and the like?
I like it because, he going to a team where he might get a ring. You know what I mean? His career has been stellar. He's done a hell of a lot. He's been so close so many times. And I think that's what it's about with him more than anything. I think it's about going out there and trying to get one before it's all over with. He about to wrap it up. Chris Paul, it's over with. This is it. This is the last hurrah. This is the last ride. So he said, hey, let's ride with a team. That's what I'm saying. So let's ride with a team that, I might be able to get one before I get up out of here. Yeah, I mean, I'm not hating on that.
I think it's actually a really awesome trade for Golden State. Not only does it give you more offensive power on the board, but you have probably the greatest shooting point guard in the history of the game in Steph Curry, along with probably the best playmaker of this generation in Chris Paul.
Yeah. I mean, that's all good, and it sounds good. On paper, it sounds great. But Chris Paul, he's gonna get hurt. Okay, that's inevitable. It's not a matter of if. Not a matter of if. It's a matter of when. You know what I mean? It could be he could pop at 38. Man, you could pop something going to the grocery store. It's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Especially after we've seen that man so many times. Every time it all comes down to one thing, being able to finish. And Chris Paul, he's a hell of a player, but he's never been able to finish.
I hear what you're saying, but if I have two all-star elite championship level point guards on my team, Chris Paul can conceivably reduce his minutes during the 82 games of the regular season to ensure he's as rested as humanly possible for the postseason. I'm not saying that you're wrong and he's not going to hurt something, because his record as of late would say differently. And I'll never forget that we were a hamstring away from being in the NBA Finals here in Houston. But I do think this is, out of the possible contenders, this is his best location and destination out of where he could have ended up. This is probably the best situation for him to try to go out there and win one.
Look, man, look here. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. Like I said, this is it. But like I say, he might not get hurt. But record has proven, he's one of those guys, injury prone. I wouldn't say injury prone. It's just inevitable. That's just part of the game. But I want to see Chris Paul go out on a good note. I really do. I thought it was going to be here in Houston.
I would love it. Yeah. Me too, man. I thought it was going to be, but we'll see. The NBA season is wacky. Kristaps Porzingis ended up on the Celtics yesterday in a big trade. Marcus Smart. I know you were a Marcus Smart guy, right? You like Marcus Smart. He's now going away from Boston. I know that's a big blow to a lot of Celtics fans. Peter Rosenberg was freaking out this morning. I woke up to WTF on Twitter from Peter Rosenberg.
No, that's a big loss right there for that team, just because he was more than just a scorer. He was more than just a player, man. He was like a dog, man. He was the guy on that team that really sparked him. You know what I mean? With that stupid hair color and all that stuff too. We gotta take a break though. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, this is two-time Hall of Famer Booker T, and I want to invite all of you to Summer of Champions 9, going down at the Humble Civic Center, 7 o'clock bell time, guys. Brought to you by one Walker, Texas lawyer. Don't miss out on the biggest show of the summer, where all the championships will be on the line. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out. Summer of Champions 9. Now, can you dig that, sucker? Shoop, 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 shoop. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, y'all. Come to you from ESPN 97.5. But Brad, what's up, man? What's up
You
on
know,
you?
I wasn't looking at the screen. Like I was handling something in the background, so my thing wasn't pulled up. And when I heard shoop 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 shoop, I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
How to create a new T-shirt.
Book thinks he's like in like the late 70s rap. You know what I mean? A hippie did a hop, the bang a dang, diggy diggy, set the boogie, set up, jump. That book. I'm like, what the hell is what the hell is Grandmaster Caz doing over here?
Booker 2 scoops, man.
Booker 2 scoops.
Oh man, I'm just tripping, man. I'm just having some fun, man. I'm in the laboratory, man. I'm in the laboratory right now.
That's what I wanted to ask. So, people who watch this show, if you're listening on ESPN 975, let me give you a little background here, because Booker isn't in his current studio setup as we know to love him and see him in on the twice a week basis here inside the Hall of Fame. You're somewhere else. Where are you?
Yeah. I'm in Orlando right now, man. I stuck around here for a minute and got a little extra work in with some of the guys here down at the Performance Center, and it's cool, man. You know, this is my passion, being able to be a part of this business this many years later, and then to work with the young guys that's going to be the next generation. The next, for me, is so freaking awesome. At the same time, man, I'm living my best life right now. I really am. Never in a million years that I would think I would still be in this business, but now being a part of NXT and now being a part of the next generation superstars' lives, and they look, you know what, man, I don't like patting myself on the back or anything like that, but you know, it's cool to have these young guys who have looked at me and looked up to me for so many years, and now they get a chance to work with me, and they see I'm kind of like a really cool dude, you know what I mean? They go, it's really, really awesome, man. You know, so I'm just down here. I spent yesterday and today work with a few of the guys here at NXT.
So, oh wow, so you're kind of like guest coaching at the Performance Center.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I call it private sessions.
That's also what you used to call it when you went down to the Rhinestone Wrangler all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the name worked out. It worked. Yeah. But no, man, I'm having fun. As well as the fam, brought them down for a little vacation. At the same time, it's been raining like crazy, man, like cats and dogs here today, as well as yesterday. And I'm trying to get the kids to Disney. I got one more day here tomorrow, and we'll see how that work out.
Oh man, that's huge. That's huge. You know, when you, I guess, like, what is the number one thing you look at when you evaluate a talent? Do you look at their in-ring acumen, their footwork, their technique, their showmanship, their charisma that translates, their facials? Like, what do you look for, number one?
Man, that's a really hard question. Really, at this stage, I don't look for stuff like that. I'm more so in my coaching mode to where I'm trying to teach these guys psychology and trying to give them knowledge. And more so what I need is these guys to ask questions. You know, I need them to want to know what makes this work or why that doesn't work today opposed to it working back then, that kind of stuff, you know, so we can really dive into the nuts and bolts of the artistry of what this thing is really, really all about, because that's what I always loved about the wrestling business, is the artistry of it, the Shakespearean nature of it, the Romeo and Juliet side of it, where it's going to be a encore. It's going to be a bravo. You know what I mean? It's going to be a curtain call at the end of the night, y'all. So for me, that's what I'm thinking about as far as trying to bring my actors up to speed, because, you know, Denzel Washington didn't start being, you know, the guy that you saw in Training Day. You know what I mean? He was just a guy that was just standing there doing nothing, saying nothing, but he was studying and waiting and preparing. Preparation is the only luck. So that's what we're thinking about right now. Prep work.
And I have to ask you, how do you think NXT Gold Rush was the other night, especially with the big match with Seth and Braun?
Night one, Gold Rush Night 1,
Night
Night 2
one.
coming up. Night 2 coming up here very, very, very shortly here in a few days. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, the Seth Rollins match with Braun Breaker, I thought it was a hell of a match. You know, the thing is, you guys didn't get a chance to see all of it because some of it happened in the commercial breaks. And but the NXT universe there, man, they got a chance to see exactly what Braun Breaker was all about. What I liked about Braun, he was calm, cool, and collective. He was walking and talking. Of course, he was in there with a pro. He was in there with a vet, a guy that was going to be able to, take him to the promised land and let him feel something while he's out there doing it, opposed to just doing it. So yeah, Seth Rollins took it to another level, coming in hurt, bruised, battered, and torn, still going up to the top rope, coming down with the greatest of ease, on the table on that boy. So for me, man, it was they knocked over my bang. Other than that, man, it was a great night. It was a great night, and I'm looking forward to night two. Looking forward to night two, guys. Be there. I'll be square.
What do you think of Seth talking recently about being the world heavyweight champion and saying he kind of wants to be a throwback to the NWA style of what the world champion was back when Ric Flair or Dusty or Harvey or whomever, Harley, excuse me, whoever it was back in the day, touring all the towns, doing all the matches, working an hour Broadway, if you will, with the top talent in that promotion to try to get him over and get him to the next level. Do you like what that kind of mindset is for this new world heavyweight championship from Seth Rollins?
Not only did he say that, he mentioned the 5-time, you know what I mean? The 5-time, And that's what I really appreciate that too. Seth Rollins, he threw all those names out, and Ric Flair was the first name he threw out, and the last name he threw out was the Mr. 5-time. And I was like, man, that's pretty cool, man, because I know when I got that championship, I was the guy that worked TV. I worked the overseas. I worked the pay-per-views. I worked all the house shows with the championship. I was the working champion. I was the world heavyweight champion. I wanted to be like Muhammad Ali, going to Germany, going against Jurgen Blin, you know what I mean? Going all over, taking on champions. That's the way I want to be. And Seth Rollins is embodying that. I said something on NXT this week. I said Seth Rollins, he sat there and watched just like the world did for that 1,000-day run of the tribal chief Roman Reigns, and now he has a chance to go out there and prove that not only that there's another champion, but not only there's another champion, but there's the world heavyweight champion, and his name is Seth Rollins, and he's going to go out there and prove that he is the working man's champion. And for me, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it so much because it's a throwback. It's a throwback, and I'm loving it.
And you know what, man? Also going in there and having a competitive match with someone like Braun Breaker, who's still on the come up and has done a lot in his young career, but still has so much more to go. Obviously, he's only a couple years in. Having that experience of working with a guy who I think is top 3 in the world right now, Seth Rollins, and having the barn burner match in your territory, like it is such a throwback. And guess what? Braun lost, but Braun won.
Yeah, nobody lost in that match right there. Even the fans, man, they got a chance to see Seth come back to NXT in over a decade since he's been in that arena, and he, was the first NXT heavyweight champion.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to actually come back and do that with Braun, it shows a lot, man. He, like I say, he spoke some words after the show, after we went off the air, and one thing that struck me, he said, when he found out he was going to be wrestling Braun Breaker, it didn't really, hit him. It didn't make him feel a certain way or anything like that until he got in the middle of that ring. It hurt those fans. And I know exactly what he's talking about. And you forget about everything. Everything, you forget, and then then you get off into the match. Oh man, then once the match is over with, all the sweat, all the bruises, the culmination of going through that and giving it to the fans. Man, it was It was beautiful. I loved it. And to be able to sit there and watch it, for me, man, I had the best seat in the house, dog. Best seat in the house. And I can't wait. I cannot wait for night 2. It's going to be good.
What'd your kids think of the NXT?
Oh, man. They had so much fun, man. They had so much freaking fun. They're gonna be wanting to come down here on a regular basis. I'm trying to, figure out what's going on. But nah, man, they loved it. And like I say, for me to still be able to be a part of this, man, shucky ducky quack quack. We gotta take a break, guys. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
My name is Nathan Wasser, and I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I came down here to Reality of Wrestling to improve my training and get myself more experience learning from the absolute best. It's intense. It's hard. You got to leave your ego at the door and come in with an open mind. The way they do stuff here is the next level. But if you do that, you'll end up bettering yourself in the end, and you'll improve, and you'll be able to work anywhere.
Nathan, he's an unbelievably awesome student. I'll tell you why, right? For a few reasons. Number one, the man packed up all the way from the Great White North to move down here to the U.S. to train because he wanted to learn from one of the best. But what's even more impressive, on top of the fact that he takes care of his body, he works hard, is the fact that he was trained by a very reputable trainer and yet still comes down here humble, hungry, ready to work and ready to learn, and not coming in here acting like he knows everything or that he's too rigid in his ways.
Booker's knowledge will help you get to whatever goals you want to do if you want to be a big star in this industry. My end goal is to be in WWE. Coming down here to Reality of Wrestling, I feel is the best opportunity for me to get there, so I'm going to do whatever it takes. I can promise you, when you come to Reality of Wrestling, it will change your life. You will not regret it.
Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. I know we got a few super chatters, don't we, Brad? Want to get to them?
Yeah, we might as well take the first super chatter here. We got
Super chat.
this comes from Unify Rex, who says, just want to give Book his flowers. Guys like you and MVP gave me inspiration for not letting my past mistakes define my future success.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. That was the ultimate goal. That's why I wrote my book, just to let everybody know that, you see Booker T out there doing it. He's a kid who came from the neighborhood. He had flaws. He toned for his mistakes. I always say I got that broom, and I'm sweeping, trying to clean up all that dirt that I created when I was a young man coming up. But no, it's been all worth it. It's been all worth it. Almost 20 years we've had Reality of Wrestling, our wrestling school, helping young people, trying to let them live their dreams, and hopefully not letting them step in those same landmines that I did once upon a time.
I think that what you've done, and you mentioned MV. MV's definitely got some stuff that he did in the past that he's put behind him and made better of himself. I think that's the ultimate story, man. Right? Like, we watched your I think I told you this. Farrah and I, we watched your doc again recently. She hadn't seen it before. And out of all the wrestling docs, and they've all been good, all the A&E ones that we've watched. And by the way, Most Wanted Treasures is great too. But that's the one that you walk away with. And I'm not just saying this, trust me, I'm not. But it's the one that you walk away with more hopeful about wrestling. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
with Mach and Warrior, and you know what, and even Sean's a little bit, because it was a lot about, like, when Sean was in a dark place during his career.
Oh yeah.
And even Mix is overall positive, but he took a lot of heavy abuse on his body, and it kind of makes you think a certain way about wrestling a little bit. But yours is the only one you walk away with and go, man, wrestling changed this guy's life for the better.
Yeah. I tell you, just the finish of it is hard for me to watch. You know what I mean? just to when it's getting ready to go off.
Mhm.
It's and the music is behind it, and the story is being told, and it's kind of hard to watch, man, because it was real. It was real. It was real as it possibly could be, but it makes you want to get up and do something at the same time, and that's what I really appreciated with the guy who really should get all the credit is George Roy, who convinced me to let him do the story. So I appreciate that dude for really making my story a feel-good story, which is what wrestling is. Wrestling is about making fans feel a certain way, and they remember it for the rest of their lives. That kid who touched you on the shoulder when he was 10 years old, he'll remember it when he's 30, when he's at a convention meeting you or something like that. And he's going to tell you that story. So that's what wrestling has always been for me.
And for the fans, that's what it's always been. It's our escapism. You know what I mean? It's our way of looking away from all the troubles that we got going on. Hey, man, we just fought with our friend, or we just got into it with our girl. Man, the tax bill's due. We don't got the money to pay it. They cut the lights out. But guess what? I'm going to go watch some professional wrestling, and I'm going to get lost in the escapism that is these larger-than-life characters going out there and having combat and the lifelong and eternal battle of good versus evil. And that's what I like. That's why, and I know we talked about this not too long ago, but it's kind of why I didn't like the Dark Side of the Ring documentary series. I think you said that there was a lot of good parts of it, and a lot of people love it, and I'm in the vast minority.
I didn't put in any credit in Dark Side of the Ring, but I just because I just don't want to see wrestling in that light. And anytime you hear Dark Side, it's not going to be good.
No, I
just got a phone call, actually, a couple of emails, them wanting me to be a part of one that I guess they're trying to put together for Sherry Martel, and I just can't do it. I just can't do it, just because I only want to remember Sherry in her greatest light, and I don't want to be a part of anything that's anything remotely negative talking about that woman.
And you know what, though? Speaking of Sherry Martel, I'm glad you brought that up, because that was the other thing that stuck out when we were watching these three, because we watched yours, Macho's, and Sean's like back to back, like over like 3 or 4 nights, right? And in every one of them, there is a common factor in sensational Sherry Martel. And Farrah, every time we'd be like, whoa, she was with him too. Wait, she was with Book? She was with Macho? And she was a star maker, or if you were already a star, she was a legitimizer.
I thought that myself when we got with Sherry. I knew she had been with everybody. Everybody she was with was a big star. Every one of them. So I was like, man, we can't lose, man. We can't lose having Sherry with us, man. That was a no-brainer.
Why'd they make that decision to put her with you again? Like, what was the idea behind that? What was the genesis of Sherry being with Harlem Heat?
I think Hogan had some influence with that. I know Hogan wanted to, put the rocket on us, and they tried a few managers with us before Sherry. None of them really worked out. And then when Sherry name came up, we was like, yes, that's who we need. And it was so great back in the day when we first got with Sherry, the way we was doing it. We had these walkie-talkies, and but they looked like phones, like cell phones, and we were acting like they were cell phones, So we'd be talking to somebody on the phone, and the person on the phone was Sherry. And then finally, when we were gonna, reveal Sherry as our manager, we was having a match, and when we came out the curtain on the lower third, Sherry wasn't with us. She was supposed to run out. We was going to call her on the phone. She was going to come out and help us win the match. And when we walked out the curtain in the lower third, it had Harlem Heat with Sherry Martel.
Now, you don't know that at the time, right? No, because you're walking out. When did you find that out?
We found that out later, of course, after we've done the whole thing, the phone call, she came out, did the deal, but it was just, typical, I just wanted to throw that out there.
And it's a thing like that in wrestling. It's really a marvel the WWE has done what they've done for so many years and done it at a high level from a production standpoint.
Yeah.
Because just being around reality wrestling, there's so many moving parts and so many small little details that you have to be aware of when producing a wrestling show that it's very hard to corral. And the fact that they can do it on such a grand scale and not make mistakes like that is so impressive to me. And that's credit to their direction and production staff.
Definitely. I swear, man. Like, but I tell you, man, I remember stuff like that so vividly because those were those moments I talk about. Wrestling is moments, and a lot of stuff you don't remember unless it really was a moment and it made you feel a certain way. And I definitely felt a certain way when we got with Sherry Martel. It was like the spark that lit the flame, baby. Oh yeah, so the legitimizer that definitely made everything right. When I say everything, man, I mean everything.
So my question though is normally like someone gets a manager if perhaps they're not like the best promo, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it's like, hey, we're going to put someone with them that can talk, right? And do the talking for them. But you and Stevie, both great promos. Like we saw that from your WWA days. So what was the other idea of having, do you think that she just was a heater for you all or like why did y'all need a manager?
We needed a white woman.
Named Sister Sherry.
Named Sister. You was in the South, man. We caused havoc. We created drama with Sherry Martel and our side, man. Two brothers with that sister walking in. It was we lit the place up, man. We lit it up. It was no better attraction than Harlem Heat with Sherry Martel. Back then, there was no better act. None, bar none. We had fire. We had heat when we walked in the building. When we walked out, it was a riot. Just about, man. We had so much fun at that time throughout my career, man. So many great memories. So many great memories with Sherry Martel at the side of Harlem Heat, Booker T and Stevie Ray.
Man, it's awesome, and you can still go relive some of those memories, but it's not coincidence that she was a part of so many careers from a managerial standpoint. And her and Mach were great together. Man, they were so good together. They had a great chemistry feat when she was Queen Sherry and he was Macho King Randy Savage. Oh yeah.
No, it was awesome, man. That's where I got my motivation from as King. Macho Man Savage throwing up the finger, that's why I threw up the pinky finger. It was a method behind the madness. It really was. It wasn't done by osmosis or anything like that. I didn't slip on a banana peel and make all that happen, guys. It was direction. And if you don't have direction, you get destruction. Hey guys, we gotta take a break, man. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, y'all. Coming to you from ESPN 975-92.5. And we just chopping it up, taking a few super chats, talking everything wrestling. And when I say everything, I mean everything here inside the Hall of Fame, guys, where you get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. I know you guys probably wonder why is Book so hyped today. Why is he so hyped? It's the water, man. It's the water.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Just pure H2O right there, huh? Now, did you wring that water out from a wet T-shirt, perhaps, or what?
Perhaps I did.
We do have a few more super chats, and I know we only have an hour show today, so let's get into our next one.
Super chat.
This is from Jack Frost, who wants to know, what are your thoughts on the Divas era fans getting mad at the
my bad, I missed it. I just caught the first part of that. Go ahead.
What are your thoughts on the Divas era fans getting mad at the NXT crowd for booing Dana Brooke? Wrestling isn't for the soft skin. Yeah, they had a not the nicest reaction to Dana Brooke.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's something that all wrestlers go through. I mean, sometimes you go out there, you don't have your best performance. These days, you just got Twitter. You know what I mean? And people are going to talk about it. No matter what you do good, you do one thing bad, that's what they're going to focus on. That's what they're really going to dial in on more so than anything. I talk to my students all the time, Bradley, and I say, this thing is like, it's like Hollywood. The only thing we don't have a chance to do is say, cut, redo that. Okay. You got to get it right almost every time in this business. You know what I mean? So I don't look at Dana Brooke any different. I was there. I sat in the seat and I watched how hard Dana went out and performed and went out there and worked. So that's what, you know, people talking, most of the people talking, you know what, just about 100% the people that's talking, they never done it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you can't throw a whole lot of weight in that.
Let's go to our next one.
Super chat.
It's from Richard Jr. By the way, Richard, man, you're one of our guys now, brother. Will SmackDown main event be AJ Styles and Bianca Belair versus Scarlett and Karrion Kross? Plus, I pick who wins Money in the Bank ladder match. Zoe Stark will win the women's with her to join the Judgment Day, and Nakamura wins. Plus, Liv Morgan as Cody's manager. There's a lot going on there. But do you have any favorites? Let's just go with the Money in the Bank question. Do you have any favorites in the Money in the Bank coming up? Trish is in. We know now. We know that Logan Paul is in on the male side. Any early favorites that you want to throw out there? Or are you just looking for a good match?
I never, you know, I tell you this all the time, Brad. I don't, you know, pick matches. That's just not what I do.
Yeah.
I try not to, you know, look at this business that way. That's for the fans to actually, you know, choose the matches and whatnot. Do I like Logan Paul and what he's been doing? Do I think is he my pick to win? No. Okay. I can say that. You know what I mean? On the women's side, it's really hard. I'm not sure, man. I really don't look at the business that way. What was that second part of that compound question?
Nakamura wins, man. Would you like to see Liv Morgan as Cody's manager?
No, hell no. I don't want to see Cody. No. That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that towards Liv or anything, but no, I don't need to see anybody as Cody's manager. You know, not even, you know, his significant other, just because he's doing some hell of a good work right now. And I wouldn't want to taint it with anything. I wouldn't want to mess with it with anything. And I just want to see Cody could complete this dream whenever it happened. I want to be there, you know, I want to be there and see it. You know what I mean? That's all. And that right there would make me feel a certain way just because I love Dusty Rhodes. And I think that's what that story is about more than anything.
Absolutely. Let's go. Speaking of Logan Paul. Wait, where is it?
Give us some Ronnie, brother. Oh, yeah.
Calitonio wants to know, Logan Paul had 1-versus-1 matches. So what are his chances with several others, especially L.A. Knight, who's as hot as the last Hall of Fame show? It's a new twist. Yeah, our last show, Booker, by the way, got critically acclaimed here on the podcast. People loved our last episode. But what do you think about LA Knight, Logan Paul in that match, man? LA Knight had a massive reaction. That crowd, I don't know where they were Monday. That crowd loved LA Knight.
Put the rocket on him, man. You know, I mean, quit messing around. Put the title on him. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing, man. When you got a guy like him, you know, he's rare. He's rare. He's very rare. He's organic. He's figured it out on his own. You know, when you got guys like that, man, you gotta put him in the game. It's just me. That's just the school I come from. So yeah, watching that dude do his stuff right now has definitely been awesome.
And you're right, because he's not been positioned, I'll say, over the last several months as one of the most over guys in the company, right? Just from a creative standpoint. And look, they got different plans for everybody at different times. But he's taken, and this is kind of a play out of your book and stuff I've heard you before. He's utilized every single second of television time he's been given, and he's made the most of it. And you can't go into a wrestling arena, whether it be WWE, AEW, Reality of Wrestling, Ring of Honor, or Impact, and there not be a yeah chant going on at some point. Everyone does it. It's like the new yes chant, the yeah chant. That's hard to do, man, especially with where he's been on TV.
No. I watched that dude, sit and, get a little bit of nothing and go out there and sprinkle some salt and pepper on it and some Cholula, and it feels good. You know what I mean? You want to get behind it. And the thing is, he hasn't been the chosen one or anything like that. Another thing that I say all the time, you gotta win by attrition. You know what I mean? You gotta wait till everybody else drop off, and just and when you walk through that curtain, it's some heat, it's something going on. They gonna know it. It's inevitable, So I'm just glad to see him getting his flowers.
LA Knight. Yeah. Let's see. We'll go to the next one here. We only have a couple minutes left, so let's try to get everything. Scott Bot says, the goat in the boat. What's up, fellas? Pretty good macho men there, Brent. Halfway through 2023, what's y'all's match of the year so far? Good question. It's a good question, Bo. It's a good question.
For me, probably Gunther and whoever.
I think him and Sheamus was up high on your list, right?
Him and Sheamus was real high on my list. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, pretty much everything he's been in has been great. And you know what? I'm gonna put Gunther and Sheamus probably as my number one. The triple threat they had at Mania with Drew, also Rhea Ripley and Charlotte at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah,
tore it up, man.
Yeah.
Hey, look,
Bianca Belair might be on the list somewhere too. You never know.
She's had great matches. I will say, in the last 6 months, if Rhea Ripley or Gunther has been in the match, it's been a good match.
Yeah, definitely.
That's just how it's been. It's just been they are on fire right now, hitting all cylinders. It's really incredible. We have 2 more here.
Super chat.
Unify Rex again. What's up, Rex? Does WWE give advice to superstars on how to deal with the overbearing grifters that bombard them with eBay items to sign at airports?
No, I doubt it. You got to be able to figure that kind of stuff out and just tell people to get the hell out of here, man. I'm not signing that. They catch me at the con or whatever, But sometimes, if it's a kid, I'm gonna sign something for a kid. I'm not gonna be that guy. But a lot of times people, do want to get stuff and go make some money off of it. So you just never know. And sometimes they try to make you the bad guy, and you're really not.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. There's what was it, Jeff or someone who had a recent incident at an airport or something. Yeah, I mean, you gotta take it as it comes, man. You gotta take it.
For me, I have a saying. When that stop happening, that's when I got a problem.
Right, I feel you.
Yeah, that's just me.
Here's our last super chat of the day. It's from Austin Heckettweiler. Heckettweiler. There you go. I'm 18, 180 pounds, 5'8", really short. Would Reality of Wrestling be the best spot for in-ring training? I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Reality of Wrestling would be your stop. And the thing is, 5'8", 180. It's a little chunky, right?
A little bit.
It's a little chunky, you know what I mean? And that's the thing. We're one-stop shop. We're about getting you in shape. Because first impression is the last impression. You got to be ready to perform at Reality Wrestling. So there again, you got to be working on everything in the ring as well as out of the ring. So yeah, we would definitely love to take on that job at Reality of Wrestling and whip you into shape. We had one guy, man, he joined Reality Wrestling. He was like 300 and some pounds, and now he's down to like 225, jacked, ripped. And I'm like, he said he went home a couple of weeks ago, and his family barely recognized him. He hadn't seen his family in like some years. Crazy, man. It's nuts. So yeah, come on down, man. We love you.
Hey, well, I love it too, Book, but I think that we got to get going now.
Yeah, we got to get up out of here. I want to thank everybody, all the super chatters, man. We appreciate you guys for stepping inside the Hall of Fame, getting your champagne wishes, caviar dream. Cali Toenail Dog, what's going on? But Bradley, appreciate you for all the hell to heavy lifting. Next time, guys, peace. We out.